God, camera's nearly gone straight away. Welcome back, guys, to windy Wales. This camera's gonna go. Yes, still on the Clem Peninsula, and I'm coming out in some unfavourable weather conditions today. However, for coastal photography, you know, these high winds, about 40-mile-an-hour winds today, the rain's going to be on and off. It's awesome, you know, you get some beautiful conditions down by the water, which is what I'm going to try and do today, get down on the beach rather than shooting from up on the cliffs. Really try and capture some of the waves, some of the movement in the water, play around with a bit of long exposure photography as well. Oh my God, it is windy. Quite in the same style as my last video, I've just looked on my topography maps again, picked a couple of coves. There should be no one here. Fingers crossed, it's going to be pretty quiet down there, and just kind of see what I could find. Really enjoying that exploration aspect of photography, landscape photography at the minute. So let's battle against the wind and get down to the coast. So I'll tell you what, guys, we have hit a little bit of a jackpot here. So one cove there, which I scoped out on my OS maps, and then, oh God, there is droplets all over this, sorry, another cove there, and then there's a hell of a lot in between. But apart from this being so beautiful and remote, there's nobody here except from a few sheep up there somewhere. What's cool is the winds, those really heavy winds, are coming in from like inland behind me now, which means that these hills are sheltering us, but because it's so like stormy and windy, we're still getting all these gorgeous conditions out at sea, which is mint for the photography. So a bit of a win-win. This is quality, absolutely quality. So now it's just a case of exploring. This is the fun part, you know, exploring for compositions and seeing what we can find. Really, I'd like, I suppose, to try and get some fairly similar shots to the images that I got in my last video, because I really like them. I do want to play around with my shutter speed a little bit more, maybe go for some shorter shutter speeds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. I want to try and capture movement in the waves, but at the same time not have it too long, you know. I want to capture some of these stormy conditions and really show it in my photography. On top of that, because it's so isolated here and remote and sort of desolate, that's what I want to go for in my photography as well, because that's the story of what's going on here. Absolutely stunning. So let's explore around. So I hope you could see me all right. It is pretty tough to deal with these weather conditions, but I really want to say this before I get into this shot. I need to hold on to my camera. These weather conditions are quite difficult to photograph in, and you do need a lot of perseverance. But what I would say, if you're at the coast and it's this beautiful, these conditions are really worth kind of like sticking it out for, you know, like dealing with the wind and the rain, because honestly, trust me, you can get some quality conditions. Except from, if I'm being fussy, I'd like a little bit more detail in the sky, maybe, rather than it just being a bit overcast. These conditions are pretty much perfect. So this is the first shot I'm going to take. I want to go down to this beach. I'm going to go down there in a second, take some photographs down where the waves are breaking there. That looks class. But I just cannot, I've been seduced by this view back down towards the north, along this coastline. I just have to grab a shot here. It's quality. So, hope you can see me all right. I feel like miles away from the camera. So I've tried to position this in a way that you can see what it is that I'm talking about. So you can see I've got a set up in portrait dimension here, which is working really nice, because if you see, every now and again around about here the waves are breaking, and I've got my 6-stop Nissi neutral density filter on, so I'm getting a shutter speed of about 1 second. Got the remote shutter on. As that wave breaks, bang, like that's me grabbing the shot, and it's capturing just a small little bit of movement in that wave as it breaks, which then gives us this, watch, see it, look at it now, gives us this beautiful sort of archway that leads the eye into the whole scene, into this beautiful selection of cliffs here, and obviously off into the background, the rest of the coastline. Like I said a second ago, the sky is a little bit flat, let's say, you know, it's quite grey, but I think in post-processing I might be able to bring out some of that detail, because it is up there. Hopefully I can do that. So all I'm doing really, I've got this little microfiber cloth, which is for my video camera as much as it is for my stills camera, but remote shutter with the left hand, quickly wipe the front of the lens, or you know, the filter, the Nissi filter, what's on the front, and then grab the shot quickly. Obviously I have to time it. There's one there. I have to time it so that there's a wave. Oh, that was quite a good one actually. Time it as there's the wave coming in, so it captures that little archway. That's pretty much what this is all about. Rest of the composition, I've got a few of these rocks down here in the foreground, which are just helping to sort of anchor the image. They're actually anchoring that archway, which is really nice. And obviously, like I said, we've got them cliffs there, which are quite a prominent feature. It's going to be in the middle of the frame. And then the rest, it's pretty obvious really. So my settings are ISO 100, f11, and with the 6-stop on the front, a 1 second exposure. Oh, we're down on the beach, guys. The weather has taken a bit of a turn for the worse. It seems like the wind is coming in from the sea now, which is a nightmare for us. The rain cover is on the bag and everything. That's when you know it's kicking off. With all of that being said, this is paradise. This is my paradise, not a human in sight. I've got all this beautiful cove to myself. The sea is nice. Nice and rough, or just rough enough for the photograph that I want to go for. This is mint. So I'm going to put a photograph up on the screen here, which is an image that I got back in March, just before the lockdown, on the Isle of Lewis and Harris in Scotland. And that's kind of been my inspiration for finding this location today. I want to try and replicate that photograph. I love how I captured the waves as they were breaking on the shore in that image, and I'm going to go for a similar thing here. It's a beautiful location, and yeah, I'm going to get myself set up here, play around a little bit, see which lens I want on the front. Oh my god, it is nailing it down now. and try my best to film it to show to you guys. Oh, let's get set up. Mental, absolutely mental. There's no other way to describe this. Absolute drowned rat. Got me bag here like this. Actually, when I first got this Mindshift backlight bag, you know the whole thing where you can't really show you now, can I? Put it around your hip and then you could spin it around. And I thought that'd be a bit of a gimmick at first, but in times like this, it is absolutely class, honestly. Where's my cloth? So we're set up. This is going to be tough to film, guys, I'm really sorry, but I hope you're going to get the gist of it. This is mint. So my idea at first was I wanted to shoot super wide, try and get this little peninsula in on the right hand side of the frame, and then some of these rocks on the left hand side as well, you could just see there. That way I'd have sort of like two peninsulas or two elements on the far left and far right hand side of the image. But even shooting at 11mm ultra wide, it was just about capturing them, and it just kind of looked stupid. There was just like two rocks on either side of the photograph. So instead, I've decided to, I've kept my 11 to 16mm Tacchina lens on. I've zoomed in to 16mm just to make sure there's no rocks at all in the photograph, which is working nicely. It's quite abstract. Oh, that's a nice one there. I'll explain this to you in a minute, what's going on here. Oh, I didn't wipe my lens. This is carnage. Absolute. Who chooses a hobby like this? Ridiculous. Right, so 6-stop Nissi ND filters on the front again, right? And the remote shutter again. Exactly the same concept as last time because of the rain. I'm having to like wait for the right wave, so that I know when to hit the shutter button. I'm having to quickly wipe my lens as well. It is absolute carnage, but a hell of a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to get a good photograph out of this. So you see here every now and again the waves are breaking like that. I'm trying to capture two things. Look at that one there in the distance now, look. I'm trying to capture it there, just as it falls over. But then, I'm trying to also capture when the wave recedes back outwards. And it just captures these beautiful white lines. This is exactly what I was doing on the Isle of Lewis and Harris. Yeah, this is quality. Hopefully I get nice photographs, but if not, hell of a lot of fun. Just mad. Madness. So, just before I go, I actually wanted to ask you a quick question. If you could comment below with your personal answer, that would be class. Basically, I want to know is, do you mind when the videos are like this? And like this, I hope you know what I mean, when it's like carnage and really difficult to film, not very polished. I like to think that I'm just showing you the reality of landscape photography, and for those of you that go out and shoot yourselves, it's something that you can relate to when it's raining and windy like this. But sometimes I feel like, oh, it's, you know, like when I said, oh, it's a bit unprofessional and it's carnage. You know, does it bother you, basically, is what I'm asking, when the videos are kind of all over the place and whatever. I'd love to know your thoughts, because I really enjoy making videos when it's like this. But yeah, your opinion always matters, so that's why I'm asking. Anyway, cheers for tuning in, always massively appreciated. I've still got loads of calendars from my first batch at least, so if you'd like to pre-order one, it is free international shipping, but only for the pre-orders. After that, which will probably be later on in this year, I'm going to have to charge for postage, so I'd say if you want one, get in now and you don't have to pay for the shipping. Anyway, Thanks again as always, guys, and I shall see yous on the next adventure. Out!